had my wife served for divorce since she sided with her key-stealing entitled mother. Just because I found the thought of it humorous, I'll be referring to my wife as wifey a lot from now on. Also, I know I seem like I'm posting too fast. But remember, this originally started around 10 days ago, and I've not wasted time in getting the divorce started. I also apologize for the length of this post, as I could not keep it short. It really didn't take me long to find and hire a divorce lawyer. And she's mean. Yes, my lawyer is a woman. And she seems pretty good at her job. She asked me a couple of times if I was really sure I wanted to do this. But once I explained my full story to her and showed some evidence, she agreed with me when I said I wanted to start ASAP. So she got the ball rolling. Oh, this divorce is going to cost me. But I don't care. I'll rebuild my savings later as a free man. I didn't even want to rent the house I'm currently living in anyway. Wifey pushed for that. I'd have been happy staying in our old apartment we used to share until we could have actually afforded to buy a house together instead. But that's obviously never happening. I'll be paying a lot less for an apartment once we separate. Before coming home, wifey spent some time at a cheap motel when she bailed her mother out of jail. And she even threatened to call police on me when I went to see her there. I changed the locks with my landlord's permission while wifey was still away and sent her a text saying I'd done so. But I guess she'd not bothered to look since she never responded. So upon returning home, she ended up pounding on the door and screaming at me to let her in. I just watched her through the doorbell cam and let her keep it up for a while before she finally got on her phone to call me. I was already walking home from having had dinner with my best friend when she called, and I pointed out the text she'd not bothered to read. When I got home to let her in, she was puffy-cheeked, teary-eyed, and red with a bit of cat-butt face. I had a new key ready for her and told her if she gave a copy to her mother again, I'd be notifying our landlord, as they were already very angry she'd given her mother a key to begin with. Not sure what the landlord could have done. But it was enough to make wifey comply for the moment. Plus, I'm not going to be living here much longer anyway. My MIL still believes she did absolutely nothing wrong and is playing victim to wifey every chance she gets. She's not allowed over anymore, for obvious reasons. And I've been repeatedly called a monster by her and wifey. I'd never been more glad that MIL has no friends, because then she'd be telling them all her convoluted version of the story to paint me as a villain. I just know it. She was told how much my key collection is roughly worth and what kind of felony charges she could be facing, though my collection was returned fully intact. So she may get the charges lessened. I'd like to hope she gets a decent punishment at least. But I'm not really counting on the system to throw the book at a manipulator like her. As I said in my previous post, wifey also paid her mother's bail and what she owed to the pawn shop with money out of our joint bank account, and then smugly told me that she wouldn't be putting the money back. Basically, that was a terrible power move and her only way to try and put all the cost on me. I've since removed everything I had in that account and stopped all future payments to it so she can't spend my money too. And I've changed my passwords to pretty much everything. Wifey flipped the hell out on me for it once she finally checked the account a couple days ago, because that meant that what she paid for MIL's bail and reimbursing the pawn shop was all in her money only. And now there was no more access to my funds to supplement her own with. I just ignored her tantrum and went into the home office to watch anime on my computer. She banged on the door for a while demanding I talk to her. I just stayed quiet and put on headphones. Wifey has repeatedly demanded I drop all charges against her mother, and even said that if I really loved her, I would not only stop all this, I'd cover the cost too. When I kept refusing, she moved into the spare bedroom. She tried to kick me out of the master bedroom first. But I made it clear I'm not giving up the master bedroom when she's the one at fault. She tried to start taking my stuff out, but I just blocked her while pointing my finger at her face and said no, like I was talking to a dog. She ended up crying and saying I was demeaning her. But I didn't care. Then, for some more deception on her part, she admitted to me out of pure spite that until this mess had started, she'd been planning on letting her mother come live with us full-time soon because of the state of her hoarder house. She boasted that she was just going to move her in while I was at work. I told her we were supposed to be equal partners before this all happened. And I was sick of her unilateral decision-making. And as long as I'm paying 50% of the lease, her mother will not be living here. And if she tried, I'd throw all her mother's stuff out immediately. Wifey looked like she wanted to explode and stormed off to have a drink and a loud phone call with her mother in the kitchen. I just started removing her stuff from the master bedroom and left it in the other room for her. I put a new lock on the door to the master bedroom too. I had wifey served at her job, which she said really embarrassed her in front of her colleagues. And she flipped out on me again once she got home. Apparently she didn't take my threats of divorce seriously until those papers were actually in her hands. She said I couldn't do this. But I told her I was done. She made it more than clear where she stands. I told her I learned a rather interesting phrase online. When people show you who they really are, believe them. And she's clearly shown me who she really is. And it's not the woman I fell in love with. That woman disappeared and got replaced with an entitled mommy's girl who refuses to act her age right after we got married. Which makes it pretty obvious she did that intentionally. At this point, I don't think she ever loved me. Just my wallet. I can't stay married to a woman who conned me into marrying her. Then she started screaming at me that she wasn't a gold digger. So I asked her if she'd have been inclined to stay married to me if I'd done the all same things to her. She tried to deny it at first, then looked around like she was trying to find a better answer. Then she just gaslit to deflect as usual. But I had none of it. I told her right then and there that I'm not renewing the lease on the house with her because I don't want to live with a petulant woman-child I can't trust. And if she wants to keep the house, she can go ahead and start a new lease to move her mother in once I'm gone. Finally, that's when the real waterworks started. She said I was destroying our family. And I said what family, and pointed out how we don't have kids, and her mother is more important to her than me. We have no family. Then I just walked away. She loudly cried in the living room for hours, but I ignored her. Now she's giving me the hardcore silent treatment and won't look me in the eyes. I'm actually enjoying it, which just seems to make her angrier. As an added bonus, I warned my current landlord about wifey wanting to move her mother in. I gave him all the details I had about MIL, the state of her hoarder house, and how much of a deceptive mommy's girl wifey is. And warned him that if he let my MIL live in any property he owns, she would turn it into an utter disaster. He thanked me for telling him and is now not going to let wifey renew the lease on her own if she tries. He'll be advertising the property soon. Wifey has no idea yet and likely would have only just barely been able to afford the house with her mother's help anyway. One more thing. Yesterday someone warned me to take my name off the joint bank account entirely so I would not be on the hook for any overdraft. I took that to heart and went to the bank to get it done. Only took a few minutes to do it, and the bank is 10 minutes away by car. All good now. I've been working from home lately, so I had the time. All statements from the account were already printed and given to my lawyer too. So I can wash my hands of it. Edit, I don't know if it's the same rules everywhere. But the bank had no problem removing my name from the account as a cosigner when I pushed for it. There were no debts on the account and had plenty more than the minimum balance. The bank likely did tell wifey. But whether or not she knows I did it, it does not matter as she's currently not talking to me. 2 weeks before my wedding, my best friend confessed that the reason why me and my fiancé got together and will be married is because of her new update. Throwaway account because everyone involved knows my main account. I don't know what to do. I've been sleepless for days because of this. I need to get this all off my chest or my heart might explode. My wedding is on the 19th and my bachelorette party was last Saturday and was organized by my best friend Lucy. I partied with my bridesmaids, had some shots, and they were so excited for me marrying the love of my life, Erwin. We've been together for 3 years. After the party, everyone was wasted and went home leaving Lucy and I in the Airbnb. I was not that drunk, at most tipsy, so I helped her clean up cause I'll be staying the night with her too. While we're cleaning she's silent, which is very not her. She was very active during the party, so I thought she's just tired, so I told her I can finish up and she can rest. So she went to the bedroom. While I was finishing the dishes, she returned to the kitchen. She told me that she needs to tell me something. So I stopped what I was doing. Then she said she's sorry. She did not expect that Erwin will ask me for marriage because it was a bet gone wrong. I was confused and asked her to elaborate. But what she basically told me is that when I first introduced them to each other, she and Erwin had a bet that if he can get me to marry him, she will exclusively date him. Apparently, they have been secretly dating since before I met Erwin. Their relationship was toxic, so they have these constant breaks, but on this particular break she allowed him to date anyone. That's what Erwin and I met. When I asked her why she's only telling me this now, she said that she felt guilty. She didn't want to hurt me, but she didn't want to take full accountability and acknowledge Erwin's part in this. She was trying to convince Erwin to come clean together, but he refused and told her the bet was long gone because he was genuinely in love with me already. When I asked her if she still has feelings for Erwin, she answered yes, and she realized how good of a man Erwin is now. When I asked if Erwin knows how she feels about him, she answered no. But if I allow her, she'll confess her feelings for him. At that point I just left. I had no energy left even if I want to slap her at that moment. I feel so played and betrayed and humiliated. The two closest people in my life made me a pawn to their sick games. I don't know what to do, where to start, I'm so confused. It's been 3 days and I haven't told anyone yet, not even Erwin who is in HK, not even my parents. Lucy hasn't tried to contact me and I think she didn't say anything yet to Erwin. The wedding is in 2 weeks. How do I face this? Update. Hey y'all. A lot of you here demand me for update. So here. Pinas ko rin to sa isang off my chest community when I realized na nakalot pala yung post dito. I figured I owed everyone an update, especially those who reached out. Original post in my profile. Hi everyone. I didn't expect this post to blow up. When I wrote my original post, I was emotional. Maybe that's why I have omitted some important facts. Also, I am not a native English speaker. So maybe some stuff I wrote were lost in translation. I also commented on my original post about my history with Lucy if you're interested. A little history of how Erwin and I met. We met at a company event. My company was the host and his was one of our clients. We bonded over the after party and exchanged numbers. Days after he added me on Facebook. I actually saw that he and Lucy were mutual friends. So I asked him if they knew each other. He answered yes, and they met during their internship days, but they weren't close. I asked Lucy too, and she confirmed it too, so I didn't make a big deal of it. We began casually dating, no labels, just see where things go. I know that he's been seeing someone else at this time, as I do too. But when we admitted to wanting to make things official with us, we broke up with our casual flings. And the rest is history. I appreciate everyone who reached out. Thank you for the kind messages, and it made me realize to think of my situation logically. So I did. And yes, Erwin and I already talked. I picked him up from the airport yesterday and told him about Lucy's confessions. He went pale, but he was calm. He told me to ask everything I want to know and he will answer truthfully. I'll try to summarize everything here. 1. Did he know that I was Lucy's best friend when we met? No. They didn't talk much about their personal lives when they were together. But he knows that Lucy's best friend's name is my name, but when we met he didn't really put the pieces together. 2. How long were they dating before we met? He did not keep count because they were on and off again, but they were casually seeing each other for around 4 months before we met. And in his mind, they were never official as they didn't label their relationship. He did try to pursue her, but she kept messing up with his head, so when she allowed him to date when they were on a break, he thought of it as a way out. 3. Did they really bet on me? Yes. But he did not take it seriously. He also did not initiate it. 4. When did the bet happen? It happened days after I introduced him as friend to Lucy. He admitted that since we were still not exclusively dating, he still sees Lucy. Lucy initiated the bet, and if he does win, she will know that he is mature enough to seriously date. 5. When did their relationship end? A month or so before we made our relationship official, he already broke things off with Lucy because he was starting to fall for me. Lucy took it well and did not even bring up the bet. 6. Why all of a sudden Lucy brought up the bet? Lucy started bringing it up after we made our engagement official. He admitted to have forgotten about the bet until she reminded her of it. So when Lucy reached out to come clean, he refused because he didn't really think that it was serious. 7. Is he aware of Lucy's feelings? No. He genuinely thinks that Lucy is happy for us. Right now, I don't know where to go from here. I believe him, but I just don't like the idea that the foundation of our relationship is from a bet. Whether it be serious or not, it's still not good. Can we rebuild trust from here? I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Aside from this issue, Erwin has been a great boyfriend, and I don't want to make harsh decisions about us and regret in the end. What I do know now is that we need to call off the wedding. He told me that he'll understand if I don't want to go on with our wedding anymore, but he asked me to consider our relationship because he loves me and he'll do anything to regain my trust back. I also learned that Lucy actually tried to contact Erwin days after the bachelorette party, but Erwin missed her calls. She's still not reaching out to me, but I don't care anymore. Many of you say that she's sabotaging our relationship. This is her last-ditch effort to have Erwin by herself, and I think you're right. It just hurts that our 11 years of friendship have to end this way. So there. I think this will also be my last update. Everything from here on will be Erwin and I's decisions. Thank you everyone for listening. New update. AITA for doxing my ex-best friend after she confessed that my relationship with my fiancé came from a bet. I-29F was supposed to get married last month, but my ex-best friend 28F confessed 2 weeks before our wedding that the foundation of my relationship with my fiancé was from a bet. I was heartbroken and emotional at that time, so I posted on a different Reddit community about my situation using a throwaway account, this account, basically to get it off my chest, without any ill intent but to receive advice. I didn't think my post would blow up on Reddit, but I never expected my post to reach other social media sites. A TikTok account that does Reddit readings featured my post and it reached my ex-best friend. Apparently one of her friends forwarded it to her. Although I used fake names in my post, some of her family and friends figured out it was her, so she confronted me about it. She said she has apologized to me already and it's unfair of me to share that story even if it's anonymous. She wants me to delete it because she is receiving harsh words from them, but I refused because this is also my story, and this is a constant reminder of her being awful and wasting 11 years of our friendship. So AITA for doxing my ex-best friend?